And this man right here, channeling his inner Naseem Hamed with his cheetah shorts. Manuel Garcia is ready to rock and roll as he makes his way over to the ring. Has a stiff challenge in Tony Hirsch. Very solid fighter, has a lot of power. But Garcia, game, and looking to really upset Hirsch and get a big win on his record. And now making his way to the ring, that is Tony Hirsch from Oakland, California. Sports a record of 22-6-2. Long track here, Chris, for Tony Hirsch. A lot of great work for him up in the Bay Area in Oakland, California. But making his way down here, down south, to get a fight in here in Tijuana, Mexico, wanting to stay active and get some work.
Yeah, Marcos, and that's what it is, you know, staying active. Manuel Garcia, definitely not the best opponent out there for Tony Hirsch, but here to give him work, you know. See if he can make this a hard night for Tony Hirsch, maybe pull an upset, but the marbles are all on the side of Tony Hirsch. You know, the odds are stacked against Manuel Garcia tonight, and Tony Hirsch just needs to go out there and do what he does best.
Damas y caballeros, Borizteca Boxing Promotions y BIP, the best in boxing, presentan este combate pactado a 8 rounds en la división de peso semi-completo. 8 rounds of boxing in the light heavyweight division. Your 3 judges scoring this bout in ringside. Sus 3 jueces, Francisco Pacheco, Carlos Flores y Carlos de la Rocha. And your 3rd man inside the ring, el tercero en la superficie para medir las acciones, el profesor Fernando Renteria. Entries into your first, the fighter standing in the blue corner, wearing brown with black and white. He officially weighs in at 173 pounds. Presentando ustedes en la esquina azul, vistiendo pantaloncillo color negro con café y blanco, con un peso de 173 libras. Presenta 22 combates profesionales. He stands with 22 professional bouts. From Mexicali, Baja California, Manuel Garcia. And his opponent across the ring is standing in the red corner, wearing black with red and white. He officially weighs in at 174 pounds. Y su rival en la esquina roja, vistiendo pantaloncillo color negro con rojo y blanco, con un peso de 174 libras. He stands professionally with 22 victories against 6 losses, 2 draws, and 9 of his wins coming by the fast way of knockout. Presenta un récord de 22 victorias, 6 derrotas, 2 empates y 9 de esas victorias por la vía del cloroformo. He's the former USMBC, WBC light heavyweight champion from Oakland, California, USA, Tony Hirsch. Y aquí está con las indicaciones finales. Here is with the final instructions, el profesor Fernando Rentería.
Vamos a hacer una pelea limpia, boxeadores. ¿Sí? No cabezazos, no golpes en la nuca, no golpes en la espalda, ni bajo el cinturón. Choquen los guantes. Suerte.
There we get a look at both Manuel Garcia and Tony Hirsch. As Tony Hirsch looks to end his year-long layoff, his last fight actually happened in April of 2017 against Javier Arceo. Hirsch in the black, trunks with red trim. Going up against Garcia in the cheetah shorts. Tony Hirsch, an athlete through and through, actually played for the Arena Football League San Jose SaberCats, and was briefly with the Oakland Raiders before being out for the cornerback spot by Philip Buchanan. So he's an athletic guy, Chris.
Yeah, definitely an athletic guy. Doesn't have an athletic guy in front of him, Manuel Garcia, tonight. Tony Hirsch needs to come out here and simply put in the work and get Garcia out of here, man.
Do what he's supposed to do.
Put him out. Yeah, simple as that. Put him
Come
out.
here and do what he's supposed to do.
There's no reason why Manuel Garcia should go the distance tonight with Tony Hirsch. Simple as that.
The last fight that Hirsch had, he got a round 2 stoppage via TKO. And the fight prior to that, he went 8 rounds against Tennille Goico. So it's interesting to see if Hirsch wants to get some time in there due to long layoff, or if he just wants to get the guy out of there if he can.
No, it seems like he does want to get the work. He's not being overzealous here. He's just working behind his jab, moving his head, a few feints here and there, taking his time.
Look how much bigger Hirsch is than Garcia. Big size difference there. Garcia is really going to have to take it to him and win that respect from Hirsch.
He's definitely got a difficult task in front of him, Marcos. He's trying to get his Tony Hirsch's respect.
Becoming the last 40 seconds of round number 1. At this point of Tony Hirsch's career, Chris, it's obvious he's going to want to get a big result here, but what does he have to do in order to achieve that goal of becoming a world champion, you feel?
Definitely sooner than later. Step up in competition. Yes, getting those wins in, getting that experience does play a big part, but at this stage in his career, Tony Hirsch simply needs to go out there, get a big fight, win that big fight, and put himself in line for a title contention.
Hirsch lands a 1-2 there. Becoming the end of round number 1. Hirsch looking like the light heavyweight, but his opponent, Manuel Garcia, looking more like a middleweight, if I'll be frank.
More like a blown-up middleweight, yeah, because he did come in, he did weigh in at 173 yesterday, but definitely not this weight class is where he should be. Not his ideal weight class.
So we took a look at some highlights in round number 1. Garcia landing a few haymakers. Hirsch responds back to shots to the body, fouls it up with a jab, and a 1-2.
And that's what Tony Hirsch needs to do, Marcos. He needs to keep going to that soft body of Manuel Garcia. Get him out of there soon.
We get round number 2. The man in front of you, Tony Hirsch, returning to the ring after a year-long layoff, avoiding the haymaker punches of Manuel Garcia. Garcia, obviously the smaller of the 2 fighters, though does have a very awkward style. Could be attributed to inexperience in there. And we'll see at what point does the size of Hirsch just become too overwhelming for Garcia. Not much power behind these punches that Garcia's landing, as Hirsch easily just pushes him back into the ropes. Hirsch taking his time, being really patient in there, not blitzing Garcia all at once. Sneaks in a hook, fouls it up with a 1-2.
Which is what he should do, Marcos. I think he felt him out in the first round. He sees he's not in a lot of danger from Manuel Garcia. Simply just do everyone here in the crowd a favor and put Garcia out. And, you know, maybe he does want to get in the rounds like you said earlier, but what he should do is simply put him out. You got to put him out. You got to look impressive with fighting a guy with this type of record. You know, if you're talking about title contention, you need to put out guys like this. You need to put them out.
Well, in his last 4 fights, Hirsch has gone to the decision in 3 of those 4. Last time he went 8 rounds was back in 2016. This fight is scheduled for 8 rounds. So we'll see if he does make it to the 8th round, or if he decides to turn on the pressure on the much smaller Garcia if he can get him out there. Garcia, though, throws a haymaker.
Yeah, right now Hirsch is just being very passive, not looking for the knockout.
Big 1-2 there,
but
landed by Hirsch.
It could come with those sharp shots that he throws.
Hirsch landed another straight just moments ago. He's trying to time that check hook there from a very leading Manuel Garcia. Hirsch finding success with that straight.
Yeah, he landed that a couple times this round already. And if that's what he wants to do, if that's the strategy that he wants, not really punches and bunches, he needs to focus on that straight right hand that he's landed a couple times this round.
Garcia lunging when he throws his punches. He needs to be extremely careful not to get caught by a counter punch. He's loading up on his punches, but these punches that Hirsch is throwing, just his size is just apparent. And already the side of Garcia is getting red due to the body punches of Tony Hirsch. Take a look here, a replay of the action in round number 2. Garcia with the haymaker, follows it up with the jab, throws the jab, dips a little bit low, but Hirsch is able to easily avoid those punches from the much slower Garcia, and boom, 1-2.
That's the right hand that I was talking about during the round, Marcos. Pinpoint accuracy by Tony Hirsch.
So now begin round number 3. Marcos Villegas here on the call with Chris Martin. We're at the Salon Mezzanine in Tijuana, Baja California, Mexico. Thank you guys for watching us over here on Fight Up TV. 2 men in front of you are Tony Hirsch and Manuel Garcia fighting in the light heavyweight division. This is a scheduled 8-round fight. Hirsch looking to gain momentum in his career. The first time he stepped in the ring in over a year. Garcia, undersized, but he's not undersized with heart. So he continues to fight in there, in with a bigger, not only opponent, but a better athlete than him.
Yeah, well said, Marcos. No lack of heart here from Garcia. He's throwing punches, trying to defend it as best as possible, but not being uber defensive. He is throwing punches back, trying to win the fight.
Good counter punch there by Hirsch.
There are those haymakers he's trying to land.
Yeah, Garcia slipped a punch in there, and Hirsch shook his head, gave him acknowledgement for that punch.
He did get him, nothing serious, but he got him.
Garcia with a little taunt there just moments ago, taunting Hirsch to come forward. I'm not sure if he's gonna want a guy who's bigger than you, stronger than you to come forward at you. As Garcia now winging away punches to the body, fighting in close quarters. Hirsch able to block and smother a lot of these punches coming from Garcia.
And it doesn't seem to be Tony Hirsch's style to come forward and bully you anyways. as we see now, he just kind of took that step back, avoiding shots, picking at his opponent.
Big overhand there from Hirsch. Follows it up with a 1-2 combination. Good strong jab.
And maybe the lack of activity in the round is also due to his long layoff. You know, about a year, maybe a little bit over, since the last time he stepped into a professional boxing ring. You know, that could play in your head. You know, either really in his head or just subconsciously, man. Like, you know that, okay, maybe I should take it easy. Maybe I should pick my shots a little more than usual, which is kind of what Tony Hirsch is doing right now. Simply just picking the shots. When he throws, he lands.
Setting the pace that he wants to fight.
There you go, exactly. And he's looking for that right hand again. I see it. It's cocked back. He's ready to throw it.
Come now to the close of this round. Tony Hirsch in control here in Tijuana, Mexico. As we now take a look at the replay here, Hirsch gets a body shot landed on him by Garcia. Garcia lunging forward.
And I believe right here he comes back with the body shot of his own, does Hirsch.
Boom, digs
and
right
up
there
the
to the
middle.
solar plexus. Garcia took it well.
Yeah, he took it well, and then a little matador move by Tony Hirsch right at the end.
Surprised he didn't yell out Olé.
This is boxing, Marcos, not soccer. And bullfighting.
We got two strong bulls in there in the ring right now, round number 4, here at the Salon Mezzanine. Manuel Garcia has taken the best punches of Tony Hirsch so far. Has showed grit and toughness. Is still in there with a much bigger man than himself. Hirsch taking his time, getting in these rounds. Much needed for a man who, at this point of his career, has not seen a lot of action in the past few years.
You know, Marcos, as we had in our notes, Manuel Garcia, you know, they probed him as a tough guy, and that's exactly what he's shown. He's just a tough guy. You know, he's been coming forward, taking Tony Hirsch's best shots, and still trucking forward, trying to win the fight, try to land his own big shots. And like you said earlier, Marcos, I think Tony Hirsch is just simply trying to get those rounds in. You know, he's going very he's going at a very monotone pace. Selective shots. Yes, they are hard shots, but you need more than one to put out a guy like Manuel Garcia.
Yeah, Hirsch not throwing in combinations. It's just landing one punch and then moving out. And Garcia, I give him credit, he's able to take the punches so far, but in a fight like this, you would expect Hirsch, given that he's the better athlete, you'd want him to start taking over and being dominant at some point.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want to see. Is we want to see Tony Hirsch being the dominant athlete.
And don't get me wrong, he has
he's dominating,
but overwhelmingly dominant.
There you go. That's what we're looking to see. You know, like I said earlier, with the type of record like Manuel Garcia, 5-16. That's what we want to see. Is we want to see Tony Hirsch put him out of there, you know, and not necessarily coast to a 8-round unanimous decision.
Well, like I mentioned, in his last fight back in 2017, Tony Hirsch did score a second-round technical knockout. But before that, he had not gotten a stoppage victory since November of 2014 against Kelly Wright, in which he scored that in the first round.
And he needs to remember how he got that knockout, you know, putting his shots together. Right here, he's landing solid one shots. But he needs to put two, he needs to put three together, and that's what's gonna put out an opponent, is that second or third shot. Maybe even four, boom. You missed the first three, but you land that fourth shot. So that's why we throw combinations in boxing.
We took a look back at action from round number 4. Garcia with some body shots. Hirsch responding, taking his time, throwing out his jab, waiting for an opening. But Hirsch has been able to avoid a lot of the punches that Garcia has been throwing at him as well. Very much acting like the bull when he wants, and like the matador when he wants as well.
I'm gonna say 80% matador, not too much bull from Tony Hirsch, and that's what he needs to do in order to get this guy out of here. He needs to simply just turn up the heat, get him out of here.
See Hirsch throwing a lot of jabs to the body and the stomach, looking to potentially start putting punches together, set up an overhand. Garcia there with a haymaker, but it's blocked by Hirsch.
Very easily blocked.
Just nothing of consequence from those punches that Manuel Garcia throws that makes Hirsch think about not throwing a punch or puts him in a different position. It just doesn't have the power, Garcia.
And that's the body work that Tony Hirsch needs to bring out in this fight. You know, Manuel Garcia has a soft body. He needs to keep going to that body.
Crowd getting a bit restless now. Wanting to see more action between both these fighters. Both fighters tagging each other, but Hirsch flicking out that jab. Throws a two-punch combination.
Yeah, every time Manuel Garcia tries to come forward and tries to mount a little bit of offense, Tony Hirsch just puts a stop to it.
Tony Hirsch just landed a big right hand, though. Garcia, for the most part, has taken all these punches well. It doesn't seem to have affected him. Or he has the world's best poker face. Could be one of the two.
No, I think that body shot right at the end, that left hook to the body, finally hurt Garcia. His face expression changed. His body language. It's the first time he's backing up a little bit more than usual. And I think Tony Hirsch smells it. Went back to the body right there.
We're approaching now the final moments of this round number 5. It's been all Tony Hirsch so far over the course of 5 rounds. Having his way against Manuel Garcia.
And Manuel Garcia trying to load up right at the end. Bell rang right before he was able to throw it.
Double jab there from Tony Hirsch to start out round number 6. Garcia, a little bit more life in him. Tony Hirsch trying to do a lateral movement there, trying to open up an opening to land a big power shot. Garcia looking a little bit desperate, lunging, trying to just land something that'll change the course of this fight and get him back in here.
Tony Hirsch showed the body language that he was going to come out here and bully his way forward, but he's doing the same thing, kind of staying out of range of Garcia. Happy to keep throwing that jab, popping and pop shotting him. Every time Hirsch throws, he lands. Every time he throws, he lands. So
it's not a bad thing.
No, but what I'm saying is he could turn it up if he really wanted to. Maybe we don't know what his camp was like. Maybe he doesn't have the energy. He knows it in the back of his mind, and he doesn't want to go ahead and throw those punches because if he doesn't take them out, he's afraid of the consequences. What if I get tired? What if I can't make it to that 8th and final round? You know, so.
As Hirsch lands a big 1-2, moves Garcia back. Let's see if he goes ahead and capitalizes on this. It's Garcia comes forward with 2 wild haymakers. Very telegraphed. You can see him coming a mile away as Hirsch lands it straight. Fans imploring him to keep on the pressure of Garcia.
And when Tony Hirsch goes back and looks at this tape, if he's that type of fighter that will go back and critique his work, he's going to see that he had plenty of openings, plenty of time to go ahead and take out Garcia, but he was just too
passive.
Too passive, that's the word. No, I couldn't think of it, but too passive. Happy with just landing a couple shots, winning the round. He could win him by a much bigger margin.
Well, with what we had mentioned earlier, it has been a year since he's fought. It's been even longer since he's gone more than 2 rounds. It could be the plan from the very beginning to be able to get these rounds in, to get that reflex back, that conditioning back, and see how he adjusts to it.
Yeah, Marcos, I get it. But at the same time, speaking as a professional boxer, but mainly speaking as a fan. I've been a fan of this sport since I was 8 years old. You're a professional and you get paid to entertain. So he needs to entertain here. He needs to go ahead and throw those combinations, throw those punches. That's what people come and pay to see. And that's what the people at home want to see as well. They want to see fighters go at it. You know, that's what we want to see. And he has the capability. I know he could do it. I see him do it in spots, in spurts. But he simply needs to pick up his punch count. Like I said, he's going to look back at this and he's going to see, all right, I could have done more. I could have taken this guy out in the 2nd round instead of maybe the 7th or 8th if he does take him out.
We are now in round number 7. This fight scheduled for 8 rounds in the light heavyweight division. Still on deck, our main event, Marcos Forrestal taking on Daniel Vega. And in the co-main event, Rafael Ramirez taking on Ramon Barajas. But in front of us, Hirsch versus Garcia. Hirsch has won just about every single round so far.
Just about every second of every single round as well.
as he still has a very determined opponent in front of him in Manuel Garcia. It's Manuel Garcia lacking the power really to make any sort of difference in this fight at this point. As he lunges forward with the body shot and fouls it up. Little modified uppercut and a jab from Tony Hirsch. And you expect that Tony Hirsch would start pointing on Manuel Garcia. I know we've talked about it, Chris, but the crowd getting a little bit restless now.
Yeah, you can kind of hear the crowd dying down.
And you can hear their comments too.
Yeah. Something we're not going to repeat, Marcos. We're not going to repeat.
So we approach 1 minute left in this round number 7. Chris, as we look at this final minute in round number 8, given that he's had such a long layoff, what do you want to see from Tony Hirsch?
Well, if you're talking about round number 8, we're in round number 7, but simply try to close the show. Okay, you could say now he held it all the way to the 7th and 8th round. Try to close the show. Do your best to close the show. Give these people a reason to forget such a passive paced rounds 1 through 7. Give them a reason to forget, because we all know that if we get that knockout and a spectacular knockout in the 8th round, all is forgotten. All is going to be forgotten. Why? Because we're going to be wild.
And Hirsch just landed a big haymaker there. Got the attention of Manuel Garcia as we come down to the closing seconds of this round number 7. The first punch of real solid consequence that Hirsch landed. But Garcia's taking these punches really well. It seems the only punch that really has affected Garcia is the body shots. Good sportsmanship shown by both fighters as we now start round number 8, the final round of this light heavyweight tilt between Tony Hirsch of Oakland, California and Manuel Garcia. Make no mistake, it's been Hirsch all the way through, and yes, Manuel Garcia, not the best record, but Hirsch not being active in the last year or so with only one fight. Needs fights like this to get back not only into condition, but to sharpen his senses, sharpen his reflexes, and really get himself set ready for another major run at potentially a world title down the road.
Yeah, definitely, Marco. We don't know what that long layoff was. We don't know how long he trained for this fight. You know, so it's easy to say go out there and throw punches, right? You could say that from the fan standpoint. You can even say that as another professional fighter talking to another one. It's easy to say, but only he knows what he's looking at. Only he knows his conditioning level, what the strategy was coming into this fight. Like you mentioned earlier, maybe he didn't want the rounds. Maybe he didn't want to go all 8 and give himself that confidence for the next fight. Hey, I can go 8 rounds. So.
For his part, Manuel Garcia has been trying to make something out of nothing here. Has been trying to win these rounds and win this fight. As the mouse is now formed, and Hirsch landing a good hook there. The thing with Hirsch is he'll land one punch and he won't let go of his hands anymore. It's a big haymaker there, missed by Garcia. Hirsch sees it by a mile away.
Yeah, Marcos, he continues to pop shot. He'll land one, at the most two, and then step out of range. You know, not only for Manuel Garcia not to hit him, which I think is a strategy, but also he puts himself, Tony Hirsch, out of range. So he can't capitalize on the damage he just created with that 1-2 or that right hand left hook, like he just landed right there.
"30 seconds left in round number 8. Let's see if Tony Hirsch can really turn up the intensity here, finish strong, maybe get Manuel Garcia out of here. So he's kind of put the energy of this crowd at a minimum, given his pace. As the ref now singles for the last 10 seconds of round number 8. Tony Hirsch will get the decision victory here in Tijuana, Mexico, as both fighters embrace and give each other a hug. That's great to see. Great sportsmanship being shown by Tony Hirsch and Manuel Garcia. And Chris, did you like, in general, what you saw from Tony Hirsch, given the time off he's had?
Well, I like the fact that he won every second of every round. But once again, I'll say from a fan standpoint, he didn't show that drama, that urgency that people like to see. You know what I mean? And we as commentators here, we hear it in the crowd. We see when a crowd is excited about a fight. And here, everybody was just simply quiet, chattering. And that's a result of what's going on upstairs in the ring. Tony Hirsch is going to come back, look at this fight, and see, okay, I have these opportunities. Next time I see myself in this moment, I'm going to go ahead and throw those shots. Because he absolutely had the opportunity, and he has the ability, the speed, the power. But he just needs to do it. He needs to apply it.
Let's go ahead now and take it up to our ring announcer, Pablo Flores, to get the judge's decision.
Damas y caballeros, después de 8 rounds de combate, nos vamos con las tarjetas de los jueces. After 8 rounds of boxing, we now go to the judges' scorecards. Los 3 jueces, Francisco Pacheco, Carlos Flores y Carlos de la Rocha, coinciden en tarjetas 80-72. All 3 judges have the same scores of 80-72. For your winner by the way of unanimous decision, su ganador por la vía de la decisión unánime, the former WBC USMBC champion from Oakland, California, Tony Hirsch. Y también fuerte reconocimiento para su rival de Mexicali, Manuel Garcia.
Tony Hirsch getting a win here in Tijuana, Mexico, improving his record to 21-4-2. Getting a unanimous decision victory over Manuel Garcia. Ramon Barajas is actually coming up next. Excuse me, folks. I stepped into a time vortex time machine. On deck, we will see the return of Rafael Ramirez and Ramon Barajas. Okay, I'm hearing from the truck that we have an announcement right now.
Su atención al centro del ring. Le hacemos el uso de la voz al mexicalense Manuel García, que quiere hacer un anuncio.
Bueno, nomás para comentarles que hoy, gracias a Dios, le doy muchas gracias a Dios por verme mantenido hasta ahorita sano. Jamás he sido noqueado. Siempre he dado lo mejor que puedo arriba del ring. Y hoy, precisamente hoy, con este peleador, anuncio mi retiro. Le doy muchas gracias a Tijuana y que siempre se acuerde de mí. Siempre di todo. No soy bueno, pero siempre doy lo mejor que puedo. Y al DJ, ahorita que me retire, por favor, si pueden tocar mi himno de guerra, toquen Guerrero Jaguar, para recordar mis raíces, porque yo soy purépecha.
First of all, he wants to thank the promoting company, Borizteca Boxing, for this opportunity. And also, he would like to announce his retirement. He would like to thank all of his fans, the gyms, everyone who came to support tonight. And he's very grateful for all the opportunity and the chance of fighting here in Tijuana. Muchas gracias, Manuel. Gracias. Y seguro vas a hacer más cosas después fuera del ring.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tijuana, for your love.
Ahí está Manuel García de Mexicali. Gracias.